about being in a fairy tale 24/7. It's about adding small sparks of wonder to your everyday routines and taking a random chaotic Tuesday and turning it into a scene from your favorite movie or show. Teen Wolf was mine, so I don't know what that would look like whimsical wise, but I digress. Welcome to Returning to Whimsy, a series where we unlearn survival mode and relearn wonder. I am the perfect candidate for this. I'm gonna give you all of my credentials. I'm the perfect candidate for this series because I have lost my spark. I feel like I used to be way more whimsical when I was a child, used to be way more creative when I was a child, and I feel like I am just becoming a dull adult, and I don't want to do that. I am loud, I am bold, I am colorful, I am filled with so much light and purpose, and along the way of living life and learning about triggers and traumas and work-life balance and eating right and working out and maintaining friendships and doing taxes and all the works, my flame started to die down because I wasn't tending to them. But we're back with this series, Returning to Whimsy, because I don't want to become a robot. I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to shine in my own lane and just continue to grow and learn and be a student of life. I love learning. So that's why I started the series, and I hope that you guys can not only find yourself in it, but that we can grow out of it. You know, I don't want us to stay here, because I have more questions than I have answers, but that's okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. Let's get into it. Let's be honest. I want everyone to put their hands up. Well, if you're driving, please don't do that. Or if you're doing anything that you moving your hands would cause for you to be in a very dangerous situation. But if not, I want you to put both of your hands up. First, give a high five, imaginary high five. But aside from that, put a finger down. If you have made multiple plans this year, strategies, goals, and intentions to better your life, but you haven't done it, every time you turn around, you're rebranding. Go ahead and put that thumb down, because if you clicked on this video, we have to expose the womb, you know what I'm saying, to really clean it and to allow it to heal. So I know it hurts, but go ahead and put that thumb down for me. Thank you. I love you. I love you. We're in this together. I promise. I'm dealing with the same pain and hurt. I literally was crying this morning, but we're here. I mean, come on. How many plans have you made for your life and you've done nothing about it? It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't care. It's because something isn't clicking. And I had to realize that with myself. Something just wasn't clicking with the routines that I was making, with the strategies, just spending all day looking up strategies on YouTube and TikTok, on Instagram, on how to become a full-time content creator, on how to break into acting, on how to just be an adult and live in this world, how to be woman, how to be feminine, how to love more, how to give more. At the end of the day, I was left just feeling, yeah. I want you to comment below, if you don't mind sharing, a plan that you have made, strategies that you have spent hours writing down in your journal, planning it out, but you have nothing to show for it. Comment below so that we can all know that we are here together and we're going to get through this. No whimsical person is left behind in the world of Dezzyloops. So let's get into the 5 whimsical mindsets that I am learning about and trying to implement into this newfound era of just returning to whimsy and not wanting to become a dull adult. That really scares me. While I'm exposing you guys about commenting below plans that you have tried to execute and plan for but did not execute, I'm going to expose myself. So I started, where is it at? Oh, I left it over there. I started the artist way last year and this year, and I had been lying to myself for years and not really fully coming to the terms with the fact that I wanted to pursue acting and just being loud and bold and proud about the fact that I wanted to be a full-time content creator and that I want to be in the entertainment industry and do this as a full-time job and take it seriously. When I came to that realization and I said the words out loud, I want to be a full-time actor and I want to be when I said I wanted to be an actress, opportunities, I have a full-time job, and opportunities started coming out of the woodworks for me. I did 2 background acting gigs, and the thing about this that was just so like a synchronicity moment was the fact that they both landed without me having to ask off for those days. So they both landed on Saturdays and Fridays and Sundays that I was already off. So I was able to get those opportunities, and I found them on Facebook. And then I saw that my local theater was doing an improv summer school. And so I did that, and I graduated that. And I was so happy. And then all of this was back to back to back to back to back. So I'm telling you, I said it out loud. I had the plan. I'm like, I'm going to do this. Full steam ahead. We're going to get into acting no matter what. At the gym that I was going to at the time, I met this guy, and he was an actor as well. There were multiple actors at that gym who I worked with, like Tyler Perry movies and did like Tubi movies, and one was in Sinners. And he was so kind to give me so much beautiful advice about the acting industry, and it was just so real to me about what it takes to be in the industry. And I didn't die down from the harsh advice that he gave me, because it was really needed and necessary for me. It made me want to do it more, but then life hit me, y'all. When you make a plan, disruption always follows the plan that you make. Disruption always follows intention. Remember that. Disruption always follows intention. It is a very, very important lesson for mindset shifts for becoming more whimsical. When you set your mind to something, everything within, not only you, because self-sabotage is the main thing that gets us. Half the time it's not other people, even though environments do play a big role in this. But half the time it's your own unbelief that's stopping you from pushing to just make that small shift that can get you closer to where you want to be than where you are now. From making the plan to executing the plan is you sitting in between there sabotaging yourself. So disruption always follows intention. That is very, very important to remember. So I had these big goals, plans, and dreams, and I got scared because of how fast everything was happening in a positive manner. Nothing bad was happening. Like the acting opportunities was coming to me, and I genuinely stopped. I stopped journaling. I stopped doing my morning pages. I stopped doing the artist way. I stopped going to the gym after being consistent for 6 months, going to the gym and losing 20 pounds. I self-sabotaged. It was no one else but me. I got in my own head. I became afraid, and I let myself down. And I had to be honest with that. I let myself down. And I'm here now, you know, we live and we learn. It's all a part of the growth process. And I had to go through that long enough and sit in it long enough to see I can stay there and watch everyone live the dreams that I see myself doing in my own way, because I don't want to be what anyone else is. I want to live the path and life that God specifically designed for me, because He knows those plans, and I have to just yield to them, because I be trying to do my own thing and that ain't working. I too am unlearning, just like you guys. Been with this series, I plan, and today I said, okay, enough planning. Hit record and film the first episode. You got this. It's gonna be messy. It might not be every single thing you want, but you will grow in it. And each episode, each time you cut on that camera, each time you come up with an idea, each time that you film, it's just gonna get better and better and better. You become more natural. Your words will flow better. You won't be as afraid. You won't stutter as much. It's gonna get better. You just have to start. That's always the scariest part, is starting. I think we've been lied to, y'all. Because everywhere around I see on all, not just platforms online and social media, we have to stop blaming social media for everything, y'all, because it is the people that make social media. Every single, like even in real life, people say work harder, have a better routine, just be more disciplined, just be more consistent, just do it, just do it, just do it. But if it was that easy, then everyone would be doing it. Sometimes it is something else. I've made the routines. I've been disciplined. You know, I was in the gym for 6 months straight, 5 to 6 days a week, eating clean, lost the weight, and now I gained it back. So it's something else isn't clicking, you know? It's something deeper than just this all or nothing, go hard propaganda, this work, harder, drive it. It ain't the wheels, it ain't going nowhere, y'all. This truck ain't moving. I'm sorry, she's stuck. She's not going nowhere. Them brakes is set. and I'm trying to release them. We are releasing the brakes that have kept us from moving forward. I love how all this is clicking together. I posed the question to myself: what is your problem, Destiny? What is the issue? What is the thing that's not clicking for you? What's not clicking for you? And it boiled down to me personally. The first thing that I had to say out loud in the open and be honest with is to talk about unbelief. Why do you keep making plans and not executing them? Or why do you execute them and then stop after it gets a little bit difficult? And one of the reasons that did come up to me, which made me sad to admit to myself, but is the first process to really unlearning survival mode and relearning wonder, is the fact that sometimes we just don't believe that because we don't see ourselves in those spaces all the times, it can be hard for us to see ourselves in those spaces. And I had to come to terms with the fact that my unbelief played a role in this self-sabotage as well. Did I really believe that I had what it took to sustain the level of success and notoriety that I wanted, or would I crumble under the pressure of the lights and the cameras and the opportunities and the money and the applause? It got to the point where it just felt like I was trying to find a straight line through a kaleidoscope, and I always ended the day with headaches. I always ended the day in tears. Even before I just decided to jump and film this first episode for the series, I started getting a headache because I was researching. I wanted to make sure I was saying the right things. I wanted to make sure I was giving the right information. I wanted to make sure that the lighting was right, and my outfit and my necklace and my hair, and just everything was put into place and proper, not a hair out of line. And I had to realize that if you don't start messy, you won't start, because perfection will never come without movement. And it is the journey. It is the journey. After I finish this first episode and I edit it and I fully publish it, what it's going to be long lasting to me is the process that got me to that. And I think sometimes I do forget that, and I just want the product and I just want it to be done. But missing out on all the whimsical moments I could have in the between moments, between where you are now and where you want to be. There's so much whimsy in it, and we miss out on it because we want to be there. When we're not taking the time to be grateful for the mornings and catching the light through the blinds and just taking our strolls and feeling the breeze in the heat of Georgia. My gosh, it was 76 outside, and I went to Walmart and my face was already like sweating. So I definitely need to find a new makeup primer. And I was like, come on, y'all. Hair sweated out. Over here fanning my armpits like I'm a chicken because it's hot. But I still had to find wonder and whimsy in it. And I got some new boots from Goodwill that I walked around in. And it was so beautiful. But this is going to be a long video. Another thing that I had to be honest about is where I am right now. I'm not coming to you as someone who's already figured this out. I'm sorry if you clicked on this series thinking that it was going to be a bunch of like self-help guru guides. I'm not there yet, okay? I am in the trenches. The call is coming from inside the house, y'all. I want your feedback in the DMs. I want you guys emailing. Like, I want us to work together on this, to unlearn these survival modes and to relearn whimsy, because we deserve a life that is full of color, that is full of light, that is full of just beauty in what it means to us in our day-to-day, that we don't have to be dry and robotic and dull and sad and depressed and anxious and angry and bitter and just filled with so much turmoil and hate for the circumstances that we've had to deal with in our lives. But we can take the cards that we have, find the whimsy in them, and play this game of life that we have all been set to play as long as we are waking up, breathing. And when I woke up and breathed this morning, I said, well, here's another day. Guess we gotta play. I want to be a person that strategizes, plans, but doesn't execute. I want this to be lasting. I want this series to come to full fruition. I want to build a community of whimsical sunshines with me as we build this world and create lives that we're proud to wake up to every day. And I know it's going to take time because there's a lot of real deep work that we have to do and modes that we have to recognize, that patterns that we have to recognize, and things that we have to work our way to stop doing while replacing them with wonder and whimsy. So this is going to take time, and I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of questions. So that's why I really want us to band together and like have each other's back in this. I am holding on to you guys like y'all holding on to me. We are in this together. The reason that I started this series was because I did not want to sit and shrink alone in my own tears, thinking that I am the only one who has in my mind this version of me that is just full of love and full of light and full of care and beauty, and that is bold and courageous and strong, and you know, isn't the stereotypical stereotypical, like I am a girly girl, but I'm also soft but bold at the same time. You know, I have a lot of personality and I have a lot of high energy and love and kindness to give, and I would not allow myself to sit in my own mind to think that I'm the only one going through this and I'm the only one suffering through luteal phases and trying to figure out my life in womanhood and just being whimsical in everyday life, and how to get that spark and rekindle the fire of life and gratitude and love, and not to just wake up every day and say like, I'm tired of doing that, you know? I'm tired of crying, I'm tired of being depressed, I'm tired of being anxious, I'm tired of being confused, you know, and I know it's going to take time, but I'm willing to learn. That's what this series is all about. Now, one thing I will tell you that this series is not, I am not here to tell you that being whimsical is you looking like a crayon box that melted all over your clothes and this whole aesthetic and fashion. Like, we will touch on those topics in this series, but it's very person to person case. Being whimsical is a mindset, and how that mindset portrays itself outwardly is person to person. Because one minute I could look like a cottagecore print. I always say cottage curl instead of cottagecore. A cottagecore princess, you know, flowy dresses and big fluffy curls and peachy cheeks and just so bright and smiley, and the next minute I can give, you know, very alternative, very Lana Del Rey, very Rico Nasty, very, you know, I have different sides of me, but guess what? All of that is still me, and all of that is still whimsical. Whimsical is not a specific look. It's not, like I said, the splashes of colors everywhere and being a maximalist. You can be a minimalist and be whimsical. We're going to get in that into later episodes of this series, returning to whimsy. But yes, because I do know that some people get trapped in the outward appearance. I have done that too. Like, I have to look whimsical. I have to look whimsical. I have to wear color and this, that, and the third. Yes, wear color, but it has to mean something to you. That's what makes it whimsical, is what it means to you, and how that comes out of you and how that creates light to the world is yours and yours alone. So don't let anyone ever make you feel like the way you dress, the way you talk, the way that you might not be like everyone else, you might not look like everyone else, you might have your own uniquenesses and disabilities. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like you're not whimsical. I stutter, my lip be curling and twitching. I laugh at my own jokes even when I'm not funny. Sometimes it look like one of my eyes bigger than the other. I have acne. You know what I'm saying? But all of that is what makes me unique. All of that is what makes me me, and it adds to my whimsy. It adds to the meaning that I attached to learning Korean and learning how to crochet and, you know, learning about content creation, because that is also another passion of mine, and wanting to become a YouTuber. It wasn't strong enough to sustain me because it was faulty, because wanting to do things for superficial, facetious reasons will never last, and that it doesn't last long enough to get through the learning curve. Because no matter what you do, like we said in the beginning, disruption always follows intention. So no matter what you do, there will be a curve that you have to go through, and we just want to go through straight line. We don't want to curve with it, because the curve with it means we have to speed up and slow down and then come back around. We don't want to do that. We just want to keep going straight. And so now I'm learning how to pivot. Now I'm learning how to take the curve of life that does happen and go with it. And even after this video, I'm like, dang, the disruption gonna follow the intention, because I said it. and I'm doing it. And now there are going to be obstacles, but I have to learn from them and know that that means that I am growing and not a reason for me to dissociate and to stay stuck and to not do anything. These are just things that are going to help me grow because they're going to strengthen my skills in the long run. And it's also going to give me practice to be more whimsical because I can find more reasons to be grateful in hard situations, and in lessons I can find ways to be whimsical and be kind, and I can do things that I like instead of mulling over about the fact that I don't like certain things that's going on in my life. For example, like we said, looking in my pond, not others, because I wasn't consistent in the weight because of the fact that the reason that I wanted to lose weight was because I wanted to get to a certain weight. I was like 100, almost 200 pounds, and then I went down to like 180, and then I went to 170, and then I don't know how much I weigh now because I haven't weighed myself, but if I could guess, I would say I would probably be around the like 178 to 180, 182, like somewhere around that range, 185 to 178 probably. Just based off pictures and what I was at the weights then. But back to what I was saying, because we have to stay on track. I love myself. Back to what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Because of the motives that I had towards that wasn't meaningful enough to sustain me. When the curve came, I dissociated from it. When I had to stop going to the gym because I couldn't financially afford to anymore, and then I started working out outside, and I tried to romanticize working out in my room, but it just did not work for me. And so then I stopped working out, but on top of stopping working out, I started eating bad and not clean eating anymore. So then I ended up gaining weight back, and then I did not like the way the weight was being proportioned out in my body, and then I started getting frustrated about that. And so now what am I? Now I'm learning to reframe my mind from attaching like my goals to things that are more materialistic, like, oh, I want to, grow a following, which I mean, like, all those things is true. That's true. Like, also, I don't want to lie to myself. I do want to grow a following. I do want to make money on this. I do want to do this full time. I do want to become an actress. I do want to be a full-time content creator. I do want to travel the world. I do want to learn Korean fluently and, get paid to go to Korea and to speak and to do shows. And my dream is to be in a K-drama. Like, all of these materialistic output things I do want, but that is going to take some serious input. And I have to use Whimsy to get through the curves before like that output comes out. Okay, because it's that in-between time, and it's where you want to be. And that's where all the fun, whimsical things happen. I had to look at my life and say, what type of life do you want? Be real with yourself. And as I sat down to think about the life that I want, I thought about kids and marriage and just the life that I wanted to create. It was a life that was full of peace. It was messy but playful. And, even when serious things were going on, I imagined myself just yielding to the moment and not saying, I gotta be strong, I gotta be strong, I gotta be strong. But no, if it hurt, it hurt. If I want to cry, cry. If I'm mad, be mad. But not allow those things to overcome me, and not to dissociate from hard moments, but to curb with the hard moments and know that those are pressure points for growth, and that is a beautiful thing. And use the hard times in life and mundane times in life as whimsical checkpoints. How can I be more whimsical? Where can I find beauty in this difficulty? Where can I find beauty and gratitude in this moment of hardship? Where can I find beauty in this boredom? Where can I find beauty in the fact that I don't want to be here anymore? I want to be on to the next. Get me out of here. Get me on the next flight to my future, because I don't want to do this present thing anymore. But where? Cause I can't. Okay, so how are we going to get there if you dissociate and you don't do anything? You have to be intentional about the life that you want. You have to be intentional about the actions that you're taking each day. Each day, either you're improving or you're digressing. There is no middle ground. If you're not working out and you're not eating right, then you're just going to become more and more unhealthy. If you are not studying Korean, and I'm in my pond, I'm not talking about y'all, I'm in my pond. If you are not studying Korean, You know, and if you are not speaking Korean, you're not writing Korean, you're not doing anything Korean, the books are just sitting over there, then you are going to lose your skills. Everything in life comes with, you have to be intentional about it. The funny thing about life is that it doesn't take anything for things to digress. You know, if you leave something, if you don't wash your dishes, what happens to them? They get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and then they become an ecosystem for dirt. They become an ecosystem for things that want the dirt, roaches and bugs and nasty things. That you didn't have to do anything for that. You just had to leave the plate there, and that's what manifested. But to keep things clean, you have to pick up the dish, you have to get some hot soap and water, and you have to scrub, and you have to put that dish to dry, and you have to put that dish up when it's done, and you have to sweep, and you have to mop wipe your floors and mop the surfaces. And I said that backwards, but you get what I'm saying. You have to be intentional about building the life you want. If not, your life is going to digress, because that's hey, I didn't make it up. You could look it up, but it's your life. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if that was rude or not, but it's your life. And it was my life. You know, if I'm not doing what I need to do, that's what's going to happen. If you ain't brushing your teeth, they're going to turn yellow. If you ain't flossing, it's gonna bleed. If you're not taking care of your skin and taking care of your body, you gonna stink. So I feel like that's why a lot of the it girl, that girl routines feel empty after a while, because there's no meaning in it. We're just doing it to be aesthetic, and you know, because we feel like that's how life is supposed to be lived, and then that's how everyone becomes robotic, because you know, we're on this fad for Pilates and matcha and having slick back buns and wearing our makeup in a certain way and wearing our clothes in a certain way where it's uniform and where it's fit and where, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's like a specific look to these different aesthetics and lifestyles. But being whimsical is not about that, in my personal opinion. That's why I prefaced in the beginning that being whimsical is not about an aesthetic. It's not about the outward. It's about the inward. It's about the mindset. It's about the heart. It's about finding gratitude in moments where you would rather crash out. It's about finding love and joy and kindness and peace in moments where you would rather scream to the rooftops, you know, and cry. It's about laughter. And I've laughed so much in between my tears. I've cried and I've said, girl, get up. Get up. Why are you crying? Get up and go film that video. Stop playing. Like, I let myself cry, but then at the same time, I'll be like, get up. I want to read to you a list of things that I wrote, hidden truths that I really resonated with, and on this journey of unlearning survival mode and relearning wonder, returning to whimsy for this mindset shift. If you feel like you resonate with these, just comment resonate, or tell me a story about how, you know, you've dealt with these things and tips and tricks of how you overcame, because I really want to learn and I really want to know. And like I said previously, I'm coming to you guys as a student. I am not a teacher. I don't have it all together. Sometimes y'all might not even get tips, hacks, and tricks. Sometimes it will just be me yapping about how I'm returning to whimsy in my life. And I want to always focus on my own pond and not anyone else's, so I don't come to judge. But I do want us to chat in the comments or in the DMs or in the email about this, because I think that it is very important in the time we're living in, seeing whimsy in darkness and seeing whimsy in everyday routines, and being whimsical when you feel like you're stuck between a version of yourself that you no longer can go back to, the version of yourself that you don't want to be currently, and a version of self, and the path between the version that you don't want to be currently and the version of yourself that you see in your mind that is just so beautiful. And you have to be that now to get to that point. You're not going to arrive at a thin air. You have to do it. And I want to do it because there's a version of me that I see, and I'm portraying that version now, the version of me that gets the thing done, the version of me that says she's going to start a series in April and starts it, the version of me that locks in, the version of me that fights for what I want and don't dissociate when things get hard. So I'm going to read off some things that I wrote, and if you resonate with it, like I said, comment resonate and just give some tips or your thoughts about it, because I really want to know. So I wrote, sometimes you're not inconsistent. You're overwhelmed by your own potential. Sometimes you don't start because you're scared you won't sustain it. Sometimes you self-sabotage because finishing something means being seen. Sometimes you don't need a routine. You need rest you're not allowing yourself to have. Sometimes you're not unmotivated, you're emotionally disconnected. Which one of these hit hardest for you? Comment below. For me, I feel like let me hold up 4 fingers. I feel like there are 2 that really hit hard for me. It's the one, sometimes you're not unmotivated, you're emotionally disconnected. Because I felt like that, and there's so much information being thrown at you: how to post, how to do CTAs, how to do hooks, how to be an influencer, how to be an actress, how to learn Korean. There's just so much information being thrown at you in life by people online and offline. And when something gets hard, it makes me want to dissociate from it because I don't want to go through that curve of learning. So I'm honest. And another one that resonated with me is, sometimes you don't start because you're scared you won't sustain it. That one is big for me because, you know, growing up, it was always told to us that, you know, it's not about can you get there, it's can you sustain when you get there. And that fear of not being able to sustain the height of the glory and of what I wanted and the weight of everything that I was asking and praying for, you know, it scared me. And so sometimes most times I would self-sabotage because I was like, can you even handle it, what you're asking for? But then yet I can't get away from the desire. So we're just gonna pursue. So everything that I've said today hopefully made sense. How does all of this, where does whimsy come in with all of this? It's through perspective. That's how we're going to win with the cards that we've been dealt in this life. That's how we're going to win through the hardships of life, because they happen to everyone. That's how we're going to beat when we have an attention and distraction and dissociation and negativity and self-sabotage and not wanting to be seen, and all these things happen. Whimsy is our superpower. A lot of people don't pull this card because they think it's childish, but it's going to take that to get out. If you made it to the end of this, thank you so much for watching season 1, episode 1 of Returning to Whimsy. I'm so excited to embark on this journey with you guys. And I'll be honest, a part of the fear is me feeling like I'm going to self-sabotage and not sustain this, but I'm still going to do it regardless, and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to take every day as it comes and remind myself that being whimsical is about being intentional, and it's about not dissociating. But I want you today, for me, please, to do one small thing today. Something that you know personally brings you to whimsy. And I want you to comment below, if you feel safe, what it is. I want to know what is something that you did today. Save this video, come back to this video, share this video, like this video, whatever you want to do with this video. But I want you to remember that you deserve to live a whimsical life. You deserve to live a life that is full of intention, love, and grace, and favor, and abundance, and fullness of joy. You don't deserve to sit in darkness and hatred and bitterness. Those are things that drag you down. You deserve to float and be airy and flow with life and not keep fighting against it with pride and trying to figure it out on your own. You are not alone. There are billions of people in this world. We are in this with you. We are all leaving survival mode, and we are returning to wonder. We are returning to whimsy. Guys deserve this life. You wake up every day and know you deserve to live a happy life. You deserve to live a joyful life. I could keep going on and on, so I am going to end here. I love you, sunshine, so much. And if you would like, please join the world of Dezzyloops as we learn how to be more whimsical. As you know, you see me just go through the journey of my womanhood and my life and my experiences. It's going to be messy. It's going to be fun. I'm excited, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Returning to Whimsy. Until then, have an amazing and whimsical day. Bye, sunshines. Finally drinking some water.